Alan King, born Irwin Allen Nieberg on December 26, 1927, in New York City, was not just a comedian, he was a trailblazer, a storyteller, and a mirror reflecting the absurdities of everyday life. From the bustling streets of Brooklyn to the glitzy stages of Las Vegas, King's journey was one of resilience, humor, and an unyielding commitment to his craft. He wasn't merely a man who told jokes, he was an observer of life, a man who could take the mundane and elevate it to a level where laughter became not just a response, but a necessity. Growing up in the Williamsburg neighborhood of Brooklyn, King was no stranger to hardship. The son of Russian Jewish immigrants, his early life was marked by the economic struggles that many families faced during the Great Depression. Yet, amidst the financial difficulties and the crowded tenements, King found his voice, a voice that would eventually captivate millions. Humor, for young Allen, was not just an escape, it was a survival tool, a way to navigate the harsh realities of his environment. At the age of 14, King won a talent contest at the Loew's Commodore Theater, a moment that would change the course of his life. This early success ignited a passion for performing that was so strong, it led him to drop out of high school to pursue a career in show business, a decision that, while risky, proved to be the right one. The world of comedy was calling, and Alan King was ready to answer. The early days were anything but glamorous. King cut his teeth in the Catskills, a region known for its Borscht Belt resorts, where many Jewish comedians of the time honed their craft. These resorts were a breeding ground for talent, and for King, they were the perfect place to develop his style, a style that would soon set him apart from his peers. Unlike many comedians who relied on physical humor or one-liners, King's comedy was rooted in the everyday experiences of the common man. His jokes were about life, with all its annoyances, frustrations, and absurdities. The 1950s were a turning point for King. His appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show and The Perry Como Show catapulted him to national fame. But it wasn't just his exposure on these shows that made him a household name, it was his unique approach to comedy. King's humor was observational, and his subject matter was relatable to the average American. He became known for his rants, which were less about telling jokes and more about sharing his frustrations with the world. Whether he was complaining about air travel, taxes, or the complexities of family life, King's humor struck a chord with audiences because it was honest, raw, and incredibly funny. In an era when many comedians still relied on vaudeville-inspired acts, King's comedy felt fresh and relevant. He didn't need props or elaborate setups, his words were enough. King's routines were a blend of storytelling and social commentary, and in this way, he was a precursor to comedians like George Carlin and Richard Pryor. He didn't just make people laugh, he made them think. King's influence on comedy was profound. He was one of the first comedians to turn the spotlight on the absurdities of modern life, and in doing so, he helped shape the future of stand-up comedy. His style was so distinctive that it became a blueprint for many who followed in his footsteps. Comedians like Jerry Seinfeld and Louis C.K. owe a debt to King, who paved the way for a more introspective, personal brand of humor. While Alan King was primarily known as a comedian, his talents extended far beyond the realm of stand-up. He was a versatile actor, appearing in films that ranged from comedies to dramas. Some of his most notable film roles include Bye Bye Braverman, 1968, where he played an erotic lawyer, The Anderson Tapes, 1971, in which he portrayed a mobster, and Casino, 1995, where he took on the role of a corrupt union boss. In each of these roles, King brought a unique blend of humor and gravitas, proving that he was not just a comedian, but a talented actor as well. King's ability to transition from comedy to drama showcased his versatility as a performer. He was able to bring a sense of authenticity to his roles, often drawing on his own experiences to add depth to his characters. His film career was a testament to his range, demonstrating that he was more than just a one-dimensional comedian. In addition to his work in film, King was a successful producer. He produced several television specials and even ventured into Broadway, producing shows like The Impossible Years and The Lion in Winter. His work as a producer demonstrated his keen understanding of entertainment and his ability to create content that resonated with a wide audience. King's contributions to television and theater were significant, further cementing his legacy as a multifaceted entertainer. But King's talents didn't stop there. He was also an author, penning several books that combined his comedic insights with autobiographical elements. His books, such as Help! I'm a Prisoner in a Chinese Bakery, 1964, and Name-Dropping: The Life and Lies of Alan King, 1996, offered readers a glimpse into the mind of a comedian who viewed the world through a lens of humor and skepticism. These books were more than just collections of jokes, they were reflections on life, written by a man who had seen and experienced much. While Alan King's professional life was marked by success and acclaim, his personal life was a more complex story. He married his wife, Jeanette Sprung, in 1947, and they remained together until his death. The couple had 3 children, Andrew, Robert, and Elaine. King was a devoted family man, and much of his humor was drawn from his experiences as a husband and father. His family life provided a rich source of material for his routines, and it was clear that his love for his family was a driving force behind his work. However, like many in the entertainment industry, King faced his share of personal challenges. He battled health issues throughout his life, including a struggle with lung cancer in the 1990s. Despite these challenges, King continued to perform, using humor as a way to cope with his illness. His ability to find comedy in even the darkest situations was a testament to his resilience and his belief in the power of laughter. King's personal challenges were not limited to his health. The demands of show business often took a toll on his personal life, and there were times when the pressures of fame weighed heavily on him. Yet, despite the difficulties, King remained committed to his craft, continuing to perform and entertain audiences until the end of his life. King was also deeply involved in philanthropy. He was a passionate supporter of various charitable causes, particularly those related to Jewish organizations and cancer research. His work in philanthropy was a reflection of his belief in giving back to the community and using his platform to make a positive impact. King's philanthropic efforts were just one of the many ways in which he sought to leave the world a better place. As King entered the later years of his life, his health began to decline. The lung cancer he had battled in the 1990s returned, and this time, the prognosis was grim. Despite his illness, King continued to perform, driven by a deep love for comedy and a desire to connect with his audience. However, his condition worsened, and on May 9, 2004, Alan King passed away from lung cancer at the age of 76. His death marked the end of an era in comedy, but his legacy continues to live on. The news of King's death was met with an outpouring of grief from fans and fellow comedians alike. He was remembered not just for his comedy, but for the way he used humor to navigate the complexities of life. King's ability to find laughter in the face of adversity was an inspiration to many, and his influence on the world of comedy is still felt today. King's legacy is one of laughter, resilience, and a deep understanding of the human condition. He was a comedian who could make people laugh while also making them think, a man who used humor as a tool to explore the absurdities of life. His work paved the way for future generations of comedians, and his impact on the world of entertainment is undeniable.